Welcome to the Gamer Dad podcast, where we talk about all things Magic the Gathering and gaming. We strive to make things fun, fit it into our busy lives, families, keep things casual, and show you how you can too. I'm Gamer Dad Bob, a 30-year Magic the Gathering veteran. I am I started reading Jesse's. Look at that. I'm Gamer Dad Bob, a 30-year Magic the Gathering veteran who's played formats from Legacy to Standard to Commander. I'm still coming off the high of the Final Fantasy set, and I really can't get into Edge of Eternities at all. So while you all are edging for Eternities tonight at pre-release, can we just maybe can we let sets breathe a little bit, please?
And based on that, I'm gonna not go to my intro yet, but we have Edge of Eternities coming out in a week. We have Spider-Man already getting halfway spoiled, or however many cards have been spoiled.
It's so many.
And they already spoiled one from Avatar: The Last Airbender, or whatever that is.
So many.
Edge of Eternities isn't even out yet, people. Anyway, I'm Jesse Hoagie. I'm also a 30-year Magic the Gathering vet. I'm a gamer and a two-time girl dad whose music taste would not be possible without Ozzy. Rip, Prince of Darkness. So untap your lands, draw a card, and buckle up because you're in for a fun one.
It is going to be a fun one tonight. And remember, this podcast is sponsored by you, the listeners. So head on over to our Patreon and subscribe. There you can find exclusive content like our video versions of the podcast, if I remember to take them down from Twitch. You guys had our last one up there for free for about 2 weeks now. The only place you can get the video here is live. And then it's gone and it's off to Patreon. Subscriptions to Patreon also notify you when we post updates of our podcast recordings. So go check it out.
And also, you can subscribe for free and still get those notifications.
Also, do not forget to stick around for the flavor text or song lyrics at our midway point. Will Jesse stump me again, or with some Magic the Gathering related music? That was a fair one. Or will he hit me with some really obscure flavor text?
I'm going to be honest. I think this is the biggest softball in the world. It's probably like a watermelon.
It's going to be really funny if we chose the same one.
I have a feeling we might have.
I do too. I do too. This is who we are at this point. Jesse and I are on the same brain. So tonight we're talking about the core of Magic the Gathering, game mechanics. Specifically, we'll be touching on some keywords. Some we love and some we love to hate. For instance, I hate landfall. I said it. I'll provide some better context on that later. And in spite of what everyone says, no, not everything is just kicker. It kind of is, but it's also not. And there's some creativity behind these mechanics. So for starters, I did a little Google search and it came up with some fan favorite mechanics that are, I guess, universally loved, Jesse.
I'm going to argue at least one on this list.
Yeah, that's cool. The Google search that came up, it said, Flashback, Scry, Persist, Kicker, Evoke, Cycling, and Ninjutsu are all fan favorite mechanics. They are universally loved. You're shaking your head. Which one don't you like?
Ninjutsu.
You don't think Ninjutsu is loved?
No, I personally hate it. I think it's just a cheap, glorified combat trick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's. I mean, yes, granted, it's only in ninjas or whatever.
Yeah,
but I just think it's a cheap mechanic that just shouldn't be there.
You think it's unfair?
I think it's very unfair.
All right. So let's touch on Flashback. Flashback's awesome, right?
I love Flashback.
Are we in agreement there? Okay, good.
I love Flashback.
Casting something from the graveyard again at a little higher cost, it's just good. It gives you 2 uses out of the same card. And then they expanded on that, right? If you paid its flashback cost, do this too, or something like that. And that's always fun. And it really forces you and your opponents to really start thinking about your opponent's graveyard. And you really have to keep things in check if they're playing a flashback deck. And you could play a single graveyard removal and it just foils their entire plan.
Bojuka Bog.
One of my favorite cards. It is in all my black decks. Scry.
Should be.
I think we can agree that Scry is really well loved.
Scry and the poor man's version of Scry, or the other version.
You like Surveil?
Surveil, yeah, those two. I think those two should be the same line. I think Scry is, I don't say it's the best, but it's one of the best, I think.
Scry is fantastic. I mean, Preordain and Ponder. Ponder is not a Scry, but Preordain is one of my favorite cards ever printed. It does so much. It gives you so much information early. It allows you to this is controversial. It allows you to keep a little bit looser of a hand sometimes if you got that preordained, because you kind of
it's like keeping a 2-lander and a soul ring.
Yeah, it allows you to do a little bit more on that turn, especially in standard where you have a chance to hit multiples of cards a lot easier that you're looking for or something. But Scry has so much power when it's late game and you're like, I don't need this extra land. I'm going to put this on the bottom. Or Surveil. I don't need this extra land. To the graveyard it goes.
Or you're playing a graveyard deck. You're like, I want this in my yard. Put it in the yard. Obviously, Scry's not going to do that. But
No. Persist. Personally, I love Persist. Kitchen Finks was one of my favorite cards when it came out. Absolutely loved Kitchen Finks. The Lorwyn block has a lot of fond memories for me because that was my entry point into Standard when it was Standard legal. We'll talk about some of my other favorite mechanics from that as well, because one of my top mechanics is also from the Lorwyn Shadowmoor block. But Persist is really cool. It's a really neat use of -1/-1 counters, which they spun into Undying, and they went the other way. We put Persist on cards, and then Malira came around, and now we have infinite combo loops with Persist cards because they can't have -1/-1 counters put on them. And they just come back. Like that's my win con in my Marin deck is a Persist loop, and I drain the table with oh my god, why can't I think of the name? Disciple of the Vault. There we go. I should know my own decks, but Persist is really cool in the sense that this is a pesky creature. It doesn't go away easily. It comes back a little weaker. It's persistent. Comes back a little weaker, and then of course Kicker. Everybody loves Kicker. Kicker gives you more. You pay a little bit more mana. It does something. God, multi-kicker was so weird. It was cool. Like, I didn't hate multi-kicker in the, what was that, World Wake it was introduced?
Yeah, I think World Wake, yeah.
I didn't hate that. Like, Everflowing Chalice. I've played way too many Everflowing Chalices in my life. And was it? Well, it had to be World Wake. Jesse looks like he's verifying.
I'm looking it up. It's not easily.
Suspense is killing me.
First introduced in World Wake.
Yes, I still got it, chat. I still got it.
There's also Sticker Kicker.
What?
In Unfindy. You may pay additional 1 as you cast a creature's will if you do, you get a sticker. Or you get a ticket and you may put a sticker on it.
I don't know what any of those mechanics are. And oh, by the way, those mechanics are Commander legal.
There's also Assist Kicker for a team play that was introduced in Mr. Booster 2 test card All-Star Kicker.
Oh. Fancy.
Which I don't think any of us got in our packs.
We did not. We did not see any of those. Kicker's really good, and it opened the door for so many other variations of it. And they got creative with it. It wasn't just, well, it's just Kicker. It's just named something different. There were a few different conditions. Yes, some mechanics were just Kicker renamed. We'll admit that, but not everything. There was some cool stuff that came out of that. And Kicker is a really fun mechanic that gives you a little bit more oomph. And then, they branched out with Kicker a little bit other ways, right? So I'm casting a white card and I can kick it with black or blue mana. Now it's an Esper card. And I can do some other stuff with it.
Kick with different colors.
Yep. So I think that was so much fun. And then as I was looking at this list and creating it this week, I was like, oh, Evoke. Evoke was so cool. And again, this is a Lorwyn mechanic.
Just an Evoke your Shriekmaw on a black card.
Yeah, just don't do that. What are you talking about? We've never done that ever live on camera ever at all. None of us have ever done. I'm waiting for you to fall into that one because it's bound to happen. Do you even play Shriekmaw on any of your decks?
No, I don't. I don't play any cards that have Evoke, actually.
It's going to happen. Evoke's really cool. It's like, I'm going to get the ETB on this creature, but it's going to die immediately. And that can cover 3 things, right? You get the effect from the ETB. If there's any triggers that care about ETBs, you're going to get that. And then if there's any triggers that care about dying, you're going to get that.
And if you play a graveyard deck, you can bring it back and get it all over again.
Muldrotha says, do it again. Another one. Evoke is really cool. And Mully Dully, Muldrifter, is my favorite Evoke card. But they had some really other fun ones like Fault Grinder, Wispmare. I was looking at a Horde of Notions deck that I built 100 years ago that I never actually put together on paper. But there's a lot of elementals, and elementals have Evoke. Cloud Thresher. one of my favorite evoke cards back in the Lorwyn days. Do you remember what Cloud Thresher did?
I remember the name. I don't remember what it did.
It was like 2 damage to all creatures with flying and each opponent or each player. And fairies and Bitter Blossom was huge then. So Cloud Thresher was a really good answer for fairies. Cycling. Cycling is also one of my top mechanics.
Cycling is an all-star.
We see that in our Dominaria remastered drafts a lot, and how useful it is to each of us as we're doing the sealed with Dominaria. It's like, I'm going to pitch this card early because it's not fitting into the flow of the game, and I can turn it into another card. And then cycling also evolved into things like land cycling or artifact cycling or other things like that. And it's so handy, and it's hard to respond to from an opposition standpoint, right? You're cycling a card. It's not a triggered ability. It's just a card mechanic. So that always keeps things interesting as well. And I love pitching a bad card and replacing it with a good one. Sometimes.
You don't need this land late in the game, you get a different one.
I run a lot of the cycling lands in my monocolor decks, like Forgotten Cave in mono red decks or Barren Moor in black decks. It's just late game. If you're going to draw a land late, I'd rather draw one of those so that I can turn it into something else. And ninjutsu. Apparently people love that. Again, Jesse and I aren't fully in love with it. That was introduced. What was it?
Kamigawa, was it? No.
It had to be one of the Kamigawa sets.
No, not the actual thing. The mechanic. It poured up like the martial arts. Betrayers of Kamigawa, yep.
Nice. Jesse with the callback there. And we saw cards like, God, why can't I think of... there were combos with like Chittering Rats getting ninjutsu'd in and then looping it, and then your opponent just doesn't get to have any cards. We have Satoru Umezawa that can ninjutsu anything, like a giant Eldrazi if something's not blocked. There's a lot of ways to cheat that. So it's cool. I think it's gotten a little bit too much of a showcase. Like it's made its way onto too many cards. But if the people love it, they're going to keep printing it, and they're going to find new and interesting ways to trigger these.
Like flavor wise, it definitely fits with ninjas. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I don't like is giving other things ninjutsu, like ninjutsuing an Eldrazi. Like that just doesn't fit flavor wise. Like Eldrazi isn't a ninja. Like you're not going to silently come in if you're an Eldrazi. You're going to see it coming. You know. Yeah.
This giant eldritch horror is going to be like stealthing into the battlefield. No.
Yeah. No.
These things are. If anything, they should have what? Why can't I? Impending, the Overlord mechanic. Yeah. You know, that would be cool to slap on some Eldrazi.
Really fit Eldrazi.
Yeah.
That would really fit him.
That would be a fun one to slap on them. So we're going to move into mechanics that we love that are not part of these. So I picked 3. Jesse picked 3. I could talk about way more of them, honestly.
I could too.
But we're going to keep this to something that, you know, instead of us talking all night about stuff we love or hate, I want to touch on just 3 of my top mechanics that are not in this first list, because honestly, if you had to gun to my head, I would have picked several of these on that list of fan favorites. But I love Storm. Storm is one of my favorite mechanics. It was one of my favorite legacy archetypes. I ran Ad Nauseam Tendrils, which was a Storm deck in Legacy. It's just so fun when you have... It's fun and challenging because Storm can be like a coin flip sometimes, because you could F up and then it just doesn't win you the game and you're just done. You might as well scoop and go next game. But when you get it right, when you don't screw up your Storm count, when you hit things right, when you tendril someone for 20 or whatever their life total is, the payoff is so rewarding for something like that. Like if I was going to grape shot someone to death, which I almost got you down from 55 life the other night.
That was great.
But that's kind of why I love Storm, and I love the idea behind it, the flavor behind it. It's this just storm of spells. You've put so much mana into the universe that the next spell that you cast is kind of siphoning all of that energy, and it's going to get copied for all of that. It surges through with this Storm ability, and it makes things challenging. Now, as you're going to say after I finish my sentence, as the opponent, Storm is very tricky to get around and deal with. because sometimes you just sit there and watch the other person play cards and you're like, am I dead or not?
See, that's one of the reasons, like that, and is one reason I don't like it, because it's not very interactive for the opponent, and it also, I think, makes games longer than they should be and more complicated than they should be. It extends and makes, like, if people try to play Storm and they're not very good at it, and like
that's bad.
It's just like, why are we even here? Like, you messed this up already. Like, make your turn is like 15 minutes long. Why are we doing this?
Yep. That is a good thing to know. Like, if you are going to be a Storm player, if you love Storm and you're not good, you can goldfish your games, and you can get used to it. So it's not like out of hand, but you have to know your deck's lines of play to the letter. You have to have them memorized. It needs to be muscle memory, because that's what you're doing. A Storm deck is a low interaction deck where if you go off, you just win, and that's that.
Yeah, it makes it too complicated for me.
I understand that. And from the opponent's standpoint, I've lost to Storm decks playing Modern back in the day 10 years ago, and it's a horrible feeling. Because you untap for turn 2 or turn 3, you're starting to move the board forward, they untap and they just go off and win. And there's nothing in your sideboard. I'm sorry, I didn't pack my Fluster Storms today. Like, what am I doing here? I didn't pack my Rule of Law or High Noons or whatever we're running to prevent storming off. So, that's where it gets kind of tricky and hateful, is that it can be hard to interact with as someone sitting on the other side of it. Another one of my mechanics from the Shadowmoor block is Wither. I absolutely fell in love with Wither. And again, it's 1/1 counters. It's -1/-1 counters. The idea of like whittling down your opponent's creatures with wither creatures was really fun to me. And then other things that kind of play into Wither is proliferate. You can proliferate those -1/-1 counters. And they kind of borrowed Wither when they moved into Infect with New Phyrexia and all that crap. Is like, okay, hold on. So they'll do Wither damage, and if they hit an opponent, it's going to poison them for that amount of damage. That seems fair.
No, that'll be later.
Okay. No. So, but Wither's fun, and when they bolted Wither onto spells like Puncture Blast, which is like deal 2 damage to a creature, and that damage is dealt in -1/-1 counters, that to me was really fun, because you can take things down. You can use it as a combat trick. I'm going to block a 4/4 with my 3/3. I'm going to Puncture Blast them. Now it's a 2/2. They're going to trade off. It's not going to kill my guy, as opposed to if I have to shock it, it's still going to deal 4 damage to my guy.
Right.
And it's going to be a full trade. Now it's a bit of a different situation. Wither is really fun. Wither has a lot of opportunities if they want to revisit it in the new Lorwyn set.
I was just going to say, hopefully they do something with that or persist in the new one.
But I read in the MTG wiki as I was doing research for this that R&D hated Wither.
Really?
They did not like the 1/1 counters. It dragged games on. It tended to grind them out a little bit.
How?
And they didn't like that the -1/-1 counters could be abused in that way. It was a
feel +1/+1 counters.
They can. It was a feel bad mechanic, according to R&D with Wither. So they've used it so sparingly. The Meska Girl from Murders at Karlov is the only Wither card we've seen, I think, since Lorwyn, outside of the Infect. But that's Infect. It's not Wither, and they love Infect. R&D loves Infect. So that kind of logic doesn't make sense to me. It's a little contradictory or hypocritical or whatever you want to call it, because they're saying they don't like the -1/-1 counters in Wither, but Infect -1/-1 counters are okay.
They don't like those, but they like reusing cards every single set and they come up with new ideas.
Yeah, don't get me going down that one, man. That's a big problem I have, is especially looking at these Spider-Man spoilers. Some of these cards,
some of the
ones,
I've
seen this card 3 times in Standard already.
So the ones that came out like today are better, but the ones from, I think they're the starter decks. Maybe that's why they're so terrible, but they're freaking terrible.
Yeah. Living Weapon is another one of my favorites. Why is Living Weapon so cool? Because they looked at my equipment and they said equipment it's okay. We saw, things that were a little bit broken with like your skull clamps, your cranial platings and everything. And that was some really pushed equipment. But in general, equipment is not great. You have to pay to put it into the battlefield. So first you hope it doesn't get countered. If it doesn't get countered, it now has an activation cost. Some of it's really restrictive based on the equipment. And now I have to have a creature available to equip. So all of those things have to happen. Potentially in one turn. It's a big investment. So Living Weapon takes care of that. It says, I'm going to just give you a creature to slap this on, and it's automatically going to attach to it. It's going to assign it some level of power and toughness. Now, the germs were 0/0 tokens.
Yep.
So they weren't like overpowered like the 4 Mirrodin abilities. What were those? 2/1s?
I think there were two. No. Yeah, I think there were 2/1s.
Like
or
some
choo-choos.
of those are a little bit crazy. But we've seen Wizards even evolve equipment from Living Weapon, as you saw, like the 4 Mirrodin. The
2/2. Yeah, it was 2/2.
Oh, they were 2/2s. And we just got other equipment in Final Fantasy. There we go. Whew. My brain fried for a second there. That puts them on 1/1 heroes. So we're and the latest thing on equipment also that we're seeing more and more of is when it ETBs, attach it to something.
Yep.
So they're giving you that free attach right off the gate, similar to what Living Weapon does. So I think they kind of just evolved Living Weapon and took it next steps. And they went, okay, we can do this with Living Weapon. Now let's push it a little bit further. Let's try and do this. And then we're going to do something with the hero mechanic, right? With Final Fantasy. And we're going to attach these to a 1/1 creature and see how that goes. So that was always something that was fun and interesting to me you said it. Batterskull was a house.
Yeah.
That card was awesome, especially with Stoneforge Mystic and that whole metagame. I mean, Cawblade, take me back. Take me back. No, okay, don't take me back, because the mirror match for that was miserable.
You loved Cawblade.
I did.
You did. So that goes into mine. So my first is Hideaway.
How many Lorwyn mechanics do we love?
We have a lot. I was just thinking Hideaways from Lorwyn.
I just realized that.
And what I liked about Hideaway is it's like you're saving this card for later. Like usually it's like the top 5 or whatever you look at, and then you can put under your land. Usually it's a land out. Is there any other ones that aren't land? I don't think there is. And it's like, I just want to save this for later. Like I don't need this in the first 5 turns, but I want to save it for later. And I can cast it for later. So it's kind of like a scry in a way, but one that you can save for later.
You have to meet certain conditions to trigger the Hideaway also, right?
Right.
I will never forget getting blown out by a Windbrisk Heights Hideaway in one of my first standard tournaments, FNMs, that I played. Dude played Windbrisk Heights. They had something absolutely busted underneath it. A Cloud Goat Ranger, which gives you 2 other creatures to attack with. They attack, trigger Windbrisk Heights, and they put out something like really strong. It was some white card. Mono white was really good in the Lorwyn days.
Yeah, I have, I want to say I have a Hideaway land in all my decks, but it's pretty close to a good chunk of my decks has a Hideaway land.
The blue Hideaway land, I think, was terrible, right? Because didn't you need to have like a certain amount of cards in someone's graveyard or something for it to trigger?
Usually I'm playing the green or
the green one is easy. The white one is easy. Yeah.
Those are the 2 I'm usually playing.
Oh, the Hideaway enchantments in New Capenna.
Oh, yeah. Fight rigging,
rabble rousing. There's a vehicle.
I played the hell out of fight rigging.
Wiretapping, widespread thieving. And there is what are you from? There's a creature.
Hideaway creature?
There's 2 of them. Watcher for Tomorrow says Hideaway. This creature enters the battlefield tapped. When it does, look at the top 4 cards. When it leaves the battlefield, put the exiled card into your hand. Wow, that's pretty fun with blink abilities.
Yeah.
I wonder if Andy plays this in his Ifara deck.
Don't give him any ideas.
That seems really good. You get a bunch of free cards to your hand.
And good trivia here. Previously, permanents with Hideaway enter the battlefield tapped. This ability was removed from the definition of Hideaway. That's interesting.
Wait, Hideaway lands don't enter tap now?
They do. Like, they actually say it, but before I think it was just assumed that it would.
Okay. This land enters tapped. Okay, it's there. So what's the black one? You may play the remove card without paying its mana cost if each player has no cards in hand.
Yeah, like that. I'd never play that. That's terrible.
Blue one...
The Windbrisk Hike and the Mosswort Bridge are the 2 I usually play.
The blue one, your opponent's library has to have 20 or fewer cards in it. Are you kidding me?
Like Mosswort Bridge, I could trigger that sucker in my Galta deck on turn 3.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
So that's why I usually do that. And Wind Brisk is what you attack with 3 or more or something like
that. Yeah.
Like, why are the black and the blue ones so hard?
They're so hard to turn on.
Oh man.
That's
Makes
so
no
funny.
Sense. Anyway, so next one is, I view it as flashback for creatures, and that's Unearth.
Oh man, back to my Alara days.
So it gives them haste, so you could attack with them when they come in.
Yep.
And then there are shenanigans where you could blink them or whatever. And usually in the color, Unearth is usually like black and red, and those are the 2 colors I play the most. So that's probably why I like Unearth the most. But it's just like, and a lot of the other stuff we're talking about. You get the death trigger, you get the end of the battlefield trigger, you get all kinds of triggers with it.
I don't think you get the death trigger because it exiles.
No, it exiles. You're right. You get,
but
you
do get ETB and haste.
And haste, yeah.
Which is pretty good. I remember the mono red decks that had Unearth. They had the Hellspark Elementals.
That's exactly what came to mind, yeah.
Ball Lightning was in that deck. They ran Hell's Thunder also, the flying 4/4 Unearth with haste, I think. Unearth is fun. It's so fun to the point. Do you remember one of my first commander decks, the Cedrus the Trader King Zombies deck? It turns everything into Unearth.
Yep.
And that was a really fun deck to pilot.
And it's also I think a heavy metal band too is named Unearth.
You know.
Anyway, my third is Extort.
Is this a newer favorite, Jesse?
It is, only because of our Pendragon of decks with all the Extort battles we have going on. I think in the right context, it might be a little overpowered at times because, you saw how much life we were gaining off of it.
Yeah.
It's more, for me, it's more the life gain than it is the damage to everybody. It's the life gain because I extort once, I gain 3 life. So in a commander format, you pay 1 to extort it. It's like pay 1 to gain 3 life. Like, what other cards out there are pay 1 for 3 life? There's not really that many.
Not a ton. I'm sure there are. I'm sure we could rattle off some if we did some research on that. But Extort is such a. I was just going to say that it's such a repeatable mechanic there. Yeah. It's very powerful in that sense in the right deck.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's great. And it's it kind of fits with a lot of the type of decks again, like I play, like the Aristocrats type decks with black and white.
Yeah, you love just pinging us to death. The death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah. Like Valkavoth is the same way. It's no real extort in there, but it's still pinging you to death.
Yep. All right, so we have reached our flavor text or song lyric break. I'm
almost exactly at the halfway point.
Yeah, I'm very scared that we picked the same one because I think I know where your head's at here. Do you want to flip a coin to see who goes first? Roll a dice?
I don't care. We don't have a spell table up to flip a coin.
All right, tell you what, you go first.
Okay.
I know what's coming.
You ready?
Yep.
The light in the window.
God damn it!
Is it the same one? Did we both choose No More Tears by Ozzy?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I have more.
I do too, but I absolutely knew that's what you were going to pick.
Yep. So for everybody that's listening, it's the light in the window is the crack in the sky, a stairway to the darkness in the blink
of an eye.
Yep.
Ozzy, No More Tears. And how appropriate is that for us? And that's why I went that direction too. But I knew we both picked No More Tears. There was no doubt in my mind when we both said it was easy and a softball that we were going to pick No More Tears. That's my favorite Ozzy album. It's so good front to back. I've been listening to it a lot since he passed away. I've been thinking about the Ozfest that I went to also. It was pretty awesome.
So the Billy Corgan, the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins, had a really great idea. He said that they should bring back Ozfest, and every year it's yearly, and it's just a tribute to Ozzy, and it's raising money for the same charities that he raised in the Back of the Beginning concert. That'd
be really cool.
I think it'd be great.
I'd go.
It'd be amazing.
I'm 43 years old. Sign me up. Just don't put me in the mosh pits anymore.
I know, right? But it's another good song that is probably one of the greatest synth and synthwave intros of all time is Mr. Crowley. Like, I did not realize that intro really until I saw the Back to the Beginning and Jack Black and the kids covering it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, my God, that is so synth.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I have such a bigger appreciation for him, unfortunately, after he passed away. But because I'm doing the same thing you've been doing all week, it's just been Ozzy.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, it's so good.
I physically own most of his solo albums, Blizzard of Oz through Diary of a Madman, No More Tears, Ultimate Sin. God, there's a few more. I'm blanking on them, obviously. Osmosis was one of my favorite ones. That had a lot of synth, Jesse. If you haven't listened to that album recently, Osmosis was really good. And everybody was like, this is too weird. It was almost like his experimental album in the 90s. That's
what I said about Walk the Sky from Alter Bridges. Not the last album before that, because it had more ethereal synthwave stuff. And Mark Tremonti even came out and said himself that Tech Noir from Gunship is what inspired him, and that's what turned me onto it.
That's cool.
He called that song up by name, and I listened to it. I'm like, holy shit, this is like, I don't know what's happening to me. It's making me feel weird. It's like just bringing back all these feelings of childhood. And
Stranger Things, too. That helped a lot. The soundtracks that they chose for Stranger Things has been really kind of...
cyberpunk.
Helping us. Yeah, and it helps us revisit those days. All right, you want a real one?
I have a real one, too.
Okay, cool. You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, mine is the star that burns twice as bright burns half as long.
Okay, mine is... I feel your presence among us. You cannot hide in the darkness. Can you hear the rumble?
That's not even fair, dude. I know that one.
I figured that'd be a softball too.
If I didn't know that one, you have permission to yell at me based on the amount of time I have spent listening to that band.
I almost wore the shirt today, actually.
So we'll revisit these at the end. All right.
I'm going to cross both of those off. I can't believe we both chose Ozzy, but we did.
I am not so before we came on, we said we had our flavor text and we both kind of said it's a softball. And at that very moment, I knew it was No More Tears by Ozzy Osbourne. I'm not even kidding when I say that. Not even kidding. Didn't I say we picked the same one?
You did, yeah. And it's so fitting, too. I mean...
It is. I mean, it's either that or like Mama, I'm Coming Home or something like that we could have picked. But
I was thinking Mama, but that was so... it would have been way too... I mean, obviously it was obvious. Like his last song that he sang was Mama, I'm Coming Home. So that would have been really obvious. But
yeah, that one's harder to listen to now, by the way.
I teared up when I'm watching it. It's like...
It's just not fair.
Like, granted, he did not sound good.
No.
But he just having him pass away 3 weeks later, it's like, Jesus, man, he knew. Like, he just knew.
Yep.
Anyway, I don't want to cry in the middle of our podcast.
Maybe it'll get more views. I don't know.
I don't know.
Some sympathy views. Let's instead get angry, Jesse. Let's talk a little bit about mechanics that are hated as I turn our air conditioning back down for downstairs, because it was like 98 degrees out here today, and my house is
in the 90s
hot.
here. It's so humid. Oh my God.
All right. Office is 74. We don't like that right now.
Mine is 72.
That's what I would like it to be. All right. Mechanics that are generally hated. I'm going to start with landfall. I teased this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Why does Bob hate landfall?
It's so freaking easy to abuse.
So why is it easy, Jesse?
Because you play a land every turn.
Because
there's so many cards. There's so many cards that give you lands, fetch lands. Like, you get 2 for 1 fetch land.
Landfall bothered me because it's a simple game mechanic. You have to do this. Well, you don't have to, but...
You don't have to. But if you want to play the game and actually cast your spells...
It's literally rewarding you for playing the game. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean... That's like rewarding me for untapping cards, and we haven't
seen. Don't give them any ideas.
Well, that 1,000-year clock or whatever reward, but you need to untap like a lot of cards for that to happen. But I mean, it's the same thing. I'm being rewarded for playing the game, for playing my lands, and while flavor wise for Zendikar when they introduced it, chef's kiss.
Flavor wise in Zendikar specifically,
it was perfect in Zendikar. The problem was, I mean, Jesus Christ, is it not evergreen at this point? We see it in like every set now.
We do.
And the amount of cards that they've spoiled. You think it'll be in
Spider-Man?
The amount of not spoiled anymore. The amount of cards in Edge of Eternities with landfall on them.
So then rename it to Planetfall or something. I don't know.
And then they invented these lander tokens. Have you seen those?
Yeah, that are just like fetch land or like
Fetch a
or
land.
something. Yeah.
Pay 2 to fetch a land. It's like clue tokens for lands.
Yep.
And
which goes into landfall.
It's more landfall abuse and everything. And while the mechanic was really good in Zendikar, I think it's been abused a little bit. Even in Zendikar, it got a little bit stressful. Like, I remember...
I mean, you had the fetch lands. That's when they were introduced.
Yeah.
So it made a lot of sense.
I mean, do you remember facing down an Avenger of Zendikar in that standard format? If someone resolved that, you're probably not coming back in that game unless you're a control deck with a Wrath of God. Day of Judgment, sorry, at the time.
Day of Judgment, yeah.
You're probably not coming back in that matchup because Jesse's really, really heated. He's punching his microphone. You're probably not coming back. It's just Avenger of Zendikar was so good that now, but if you look at Avenger of Zendikar in Commander, you got 3 other people to interact with it. You need to absolutely not stall out, and you need to hit your land drops and everything. Unless you're building around a landfall deck, Avenger of Zendikar isn't as powerful as he used to be.
It's good in my Prosh deck.
I'm starting to exclude him in some of my top ends of my decks because there's just other cards that I'd rather be using.
Yeah, it's power craft.
But landfall, so good. So good, and I hate that it's so good because it's just too easy. You're rewarded for playing the game. And if I recall, that's what Mark Rosewater even said their intent was. Let's make a mechanic that rewards you for playing the game.
Isn't that just playing the game?
Playing the game.
Reward enough?
I like to be rewarded by drawing a card every turn. Thank you very much.
Pretty soon there's going to be a mechanic that bases off you get something for drawing. Like just Shieldred, but it's not just a mechanic.
More Shieldred mechanics. Yes, please. Yeah. That's what we all want.
Yeah.
All right, the next one, Jesse and I both hate. Prowess.
Absolutely Jesse, hate Prowess.
You can take the lead on this one, bud.
It's similar to Landfall. You're getting rewarded for playing spells. Like, it's too easy. It's just too easy, and it gets so out of hand.
I think we're traumatized by the current standard landscape as well.
Say that.
But like that mono red style has been the most brain dead friggin' deck for the last 3-4 years.
I was gonna say it's brain dead,
because of
but
things like Prowess.
Coming from me, who plays mostly brain dead decks, like even in Marvel Snap, my favorite decks are the big creature decks. But this is like beyond brain dead. It's like, I'm going to play one spell. My 1/1 becomes this. I'm going to play another tiny spell. It becomes this. I'm going to play another tiny spell.
Yeah, or would
it's
you,
like Storm.
Would you like to react to this? Okay, fine. Your lightning bolt now doesn't kill it because it's now a 4/4. And I pumped my card
There's
for
nothing you can
one
do.
Mana where you spent 2 mana. It's not equal in that sense.
It's not.
The value.
And then, by the way, after I pump it to be 10, I'm going to sacrifice it and deal dominant damage to you.
Yeah, I think partially our hate for Prowess is because of the current metagame.
Yeah.
And the I'm still going to call it brain dead gameplay. Now, don't get me wrong. Mono red done right is very strategic. It is a very strategic gameplay style. One of the guys we played against at Cooper's, Andy. Andy,
yeah.
He's one of the best mono red players I've ever played against. Period. Hands down.
100%. He was not. He did not play brain dead decks. He was incredibly strategic. He was very smart about it.
And his strategy was, I'm counting down from 20. And I need to know how to get you down from 23 in 3 turns. And I'm basing my strategy around that. Not, I'm just going to play spells, pump, and swing, and
hope.
math is for blockers.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like Prowess also. It's unbalanced to me.
It's very unbalanced.
And they're printing it more and more.
Yes, they are. Yes, I mean, look at Vivi. The decks that Vivi are around, even with other other cards that are banned.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm blanking on the name of it now, but the mono red one there that cost 1
Monastery Swiftspear?
I was call it Swifty. I wouldn't be surprised if that's printed in Foundations or something like that.
You mean the next Foundations?
Yeah. Or it'll be printed in every set until that, and then reprinted in Foundations, the next one.
Ugh. Okay, we can move on from Prowess. I'm already in pain talking about this.
No, you were killed 2 turns ago.
That's great. Shroud, Hexproof, Ward, 3+, I think
I'm just gonna say Ward. Take off the number, just Ward in general.
I think Ward 3+ is bad. I think anything under 3 is it's okay. But let's start with Shroud. And let's talk about the origins of Shroud. Do you remember the first card they printed with Shroud before?
The cloak? Whisper Silk Cloak?
No, it predates that. Autumn
Really?
Willow.
Oh, really? In
cannot
Homeland?
Cannot be the target of spells.
But it wasn't the keyword. It was just the actual.
That's correct.
Yeah.
They actually keyworded it way down the road. But Shroud was a mechanic as I was first picking up Magic the Gathering. And here's another reason why I hate Shroud. And I think why Wizards has moved away from it also. Shroud is very hard to understand.
Yeah, because you can't target things either. You, yourself. Like your
That's
own
right.
stuff. That's Shroud.
That's right. It's just cannot target, period.
Yep.
And for newer players, that's really hard to wrap your head around, especially when there's cards that say like damage can't be prevented or other things. And you're like, oh, I can get around that because it damage can't. No. No, Bob. And I had a very nice person at the FNM I was at with their Inkwell Leviathan. I was sitting on the other side with, and it was like, you cannot target this. That's how the rules read and everything. I was like, no, this says damn it, no. Shroud means cannot target at all. I can't target my guy. So Shroud as a mechanic, I just think it was just not really well thought out in that sense. And I think Wizards realized that. And then they said, you know what, let's move on to something called Hexproof.
Let's make it even better.
Let's make it even better. And you're right. Hexproof now says my opponents can't target it.
But you can.
And now we have Voltron.
Yep.
The Boggles archetype in Modern and other formats is still very strong and very prevalent. You slap a bunch of things on it. It has hexproof, so you need some kind of sweeper. But it's now 2020. Good luck.
What you gonna do about it?
Do you have an unconditional sweeper? No. By the way, Boggles play blue.
You can counter your wrath. You can counter anything.
I can do that. Well, that hexproof has been one of my hated ones, and they kind of even started moving hexproof into a different realm too, if you recall. Instead of full-on hexproof, it's like hexproof from blue. So now I can't target it with my unsummons or my Into the Flood Maws or whatever. We saw a bunch of the spiders. They the newer ones, they were like hexproof from blue, and that was something that they explored. I don't think it was a successful experiment for them. I think they decided that it still wasn't very cool. So they invented Ward, and Ward is broken at 3+.
Yes.
You're telling me the investment I have to make to target your creature is my spell +3? My spell +4?
Might as well be hexproofed.
It might as well. You're absolutely right at that point. It's not going anywhere. So they're still exploring Ward. Gavin Verhey did a really good YouTube video on the evolution of Ward and the future of it. And it really explained the evolution of how their thought process was and everything. And then you get like Voha, the what is it, that claw, that wolf thing? Yeah. And it's like
I've purposely not built that deck. I have it built in Moxfield, but I haven't actually brought it because I'm like, this is just not going to be fair.
It's like that is that on a commander that comes back again and again. It's like, all right, we just used our resources to remove this thing. It has a Ward 3 or 4. What is it? Ward 3?
3.
And we just spent our resources to kill it, and it just comes back from the command zone and does some more busted stuff. Now that card on its own, it's not busted. The deck is strong, but Ward 4 on Kappa Cannoneer, right? That's Ward 4. That's insane. It's just insane.
It's too much.
So I do like how they're exploring other wards. Like we saw some of those in Strixhaven. Discard a card, pay 3 life. We saw some of those in Midnight Hunt. Discard a card, pay some life. And then when they moved into the Lord of the Rings set, they got even more creative.
Discard a legendary.
Sacrifice a legendary.
Sacrifice. That's something. Yeah.
Just pitch an instant or ward from instants and sorceries or so. The space is very wide open for them to still explore. And I think if they keep getting creative with that, I think that's probably their sweet spot with protecting cards that they want to see protected. And I think if they use Ward 3+ very sparingly going forward, I think we're going to be in an okay place. But
I mean, if it makes sense, I think of Ward as kind of like a shield. Like if you have a card that has 3 shields or 3 layers or something, it's got ward 3, so you get past the 3th, whatever. That makes sense to me.
Yep.
But yeah.
All right, the next one, Jesse, you feel very strongly about. So why don't you start that one?
Poison, infect, and toxic. I think it is all 3 of them. I'm gonna combine them all because they're all pretty much the same. It's just shortening the game and cheating. It's just flat out cheating.
It sure felt like it when it was standard legal.
Because it's like, okay, your deck, like you have to deal 20 to me, but I only have to deal 10 to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Well, then we should all just be playing infect then, Jesse.
Yeah, or then you have toxic, like you have the toxic decks that are out there that were more recent, where you don't have to attack.
Oh my gosh, the venerated rot priest decks.
Yeah.
Or the proliferate one, the Demir ones. Those drove me nuts because I didn't have to do anything. It just gave a poison counter.
I say opponent gets a poison counter. Okay, proliferate. You're dead. I didn't have to attack you.
Yeah, I don't like poison counters being in a zone that you generally can't interact with. Mm-hmm. Generally, as the person with the poison counters. Now, you can proliferate them up, and obviously everybody can go, well, there's a card that exists that can deal with that. I joked about that in chat in Wooburg Sky. Leeches. Mm-hmm. Remove all poison counters and then take damage equal to the amount of poison counters removed. Okay.
So why isn't there like antidote that doesn't damage you, that just removes stuff?
If they're going to continue down the road, and Mark Rosewater loves poison. He absolutely loves it. If they're going to continue down that road, in my opinion, they need to make more cards that interact with that zone.
Mm-hmm.
Antidote.
Definitely.
Something along those lines. And not just your Malira Sylvok Outcast type cards that say you can't get poison counters.
I was just going to say something that makes us you can't get poisoned. Like
not your...
like a Mithril coat from Lord of the Rings should have been you can't be poisoned.
Yeah, not your Solemnity that says remove all counters or you can nothing can be count. We need to see more stuff like that. The tricky part, I think, for R&D there is how do they keep it where it doesn't break other mechanics wide open and creates for busted combinations. So in my opinion, based on all of that, what we're talking about is we need to interact with that zone specifically. Those types of counters specifically. Mm-hmm. Antidote says remove 3 poison counters and it cantrips. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like something, something like that needs to be out there. It needs to be more of a counter because to your point, 10 is less than 20 last I checked.
Yep.
And
less than 40. In Commander is so broken in Commander. Because again, granted Commander damage is 21.
Yep.
And then normal damage is 40, but then you have Infect that's 10.
10.
Because you have a Skittles as your commander, they can keep bringing that back. It's just like I'll be honest, I have Brawl decks that are Skittles, and it's just people just scoop when they see it.
I believe it.
It's just not fun. It's not.
I believe it. All right, the next one.
I'm surprised by this one.
I love this and I love to hate this one. I think Cascade is really good, but it's really unfair.
It's very unfair.
We both played the hell out of Cascade when it was legal and standard.
Yes, Blood Red Elf.
Braid Elf into Blightning.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome
into
combo.
Blightning. That's
Bituminous Blast into Blood Braid Elf into Blightning.
Into Blightning. Yep.
What just happened?
Yep. Or a Bee Blast into a Vengevine.
Yeah, I mean, it's silly. I don't like cards that give you free stuff. We have learned time and time again that free stuff in Magic the Gathering is really friggin' broken.
Mm-hmm.
Really broken and very, very abusable. I don't know if you remember the modern decks, the balance decks.
No.
Where they would cascade and hit balance.
Mm-hmm.
Which was the suspend version, restore balance, I think it was, and it would just wipe the board for free off of a violent ultimatum or an ardent plea or something. And your opponent is left wildly with nothing, and you're sitting with a greater Gargadon suspended. You can sacrifice all your lands in response to the balance trigger, so they have to sacrifice all their lands. In turn, it brings the Gargadon lower on time counters, and now I'm swinging with a 9-10 or a 10-9 or whatever the hell it was. And you have no cards in hand, no lands, no way to interact with it. The restore balance decks in Modern off the Cascade were really, really busted. I built it. I took it apart. It just didn't.
It wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun for me to do that sort of thing, and it wasn't an overly broken deck. It wasn't the most successful modern deck ever, but Cascade giving free things like that, I didn't like it. And it's so friggin' random.
It's completely random. It's just like you can kind of have control if you like build
if you're
a deck
manipulating
right.
your top deck too.
Yeah. But otherwise it's completely random. And then you have cards that cascade.
What are you talking about? I've never played a card like that ever.
Apex Devastator?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That was the only time I got to cast that one. And so I have taken my Cascade deck apart, and it was also a landfall deck. I mean, talk about two really powerful mechanics jammed into one deck. Yeah. And by the way, it was teamer colors, so I was running blue, so I had options there as well. It was stupid. I mean, it was fun, but the fun didn't last long. So I was like, okay, we're just done here. All right, Night Day. Do we need to say anything about Night Day?
So that pains me because I love the idea of day and night. I absolutely love the idea, but in practice, having to keep track of everything. Like, it's not the mechanic itself, I think, that people hate. I think it's keeping track of it.
Well, especially with the new way that Midnight Hunt changed kind of the mechanics of Night Day and how it would change more frequently and things like that. And now you got to, and the second it happens with Midnight Hunt cards, it's Night Day for the rest of the game. Whereas if you look at Innistrad, if there wasn't a day-night card out, I'm saying then night, day, day-night. If there wasn't a day-night card out, it nothing happened.
Matter. Yeah.
Didn't matter.
The whole, like, me being like a big horror movie vampire type fan, I absolutely love the idea of it. Because like that new game that's coming out, Blood of Daywalker.
That looks good though.
You when you're in the day, you're a human, and your night, you're stronger.
Mm-hmm.
It makes tons of sense. Flavor-wise, it is a home run flavor-wise.
I agree.
Mechanic-wise, is a nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
I agree. All right, now we're getting into our very own ones that we hate. These were just ones that were universally hated, by the way, that we rattled off. Now these are the Bob hated ones. Miracle.
Bonfire off the top.
I'm traumatized by Bonfire of the Damned off the top.
I ran that so much.
Just go look at the Pro Tour victory of Bonfire off the top to win the Pro Tour that one year. It was the silliest thing ever. There was no skill. It was just, oops, I win. Okay.
That's just the RNG. The more RNG.
Yeah. They built it into the game. And let's touch on one more piece of Miracle that I think is very important to cover here. It changed the way you had to pay attention to your card draws. Because you had to kind of peek at that card and not put it into your hand.
Because if by habit you draw, put it in your hand. You don't draw, look at it, you draw, just put it in your hand, and then look.
Yep.
Nope, this was a peek and then put it.
You had to be very careful with that because you could get some rules lawyer going on and be like, I don't know if he pulled the card out of his hands. I don't know what the deal is. My opponent is doing some shady stuff.
I think I used that myself a couple times, and it sided with me.
So
I don't know which one you put in his hand.
Yeah. You can't. You had to change the way. So from that sense, it's not a great mechanic either.
Mm-hmm.
Did I play a lot of Terminus when it was legal?
Oh God, yes.
Oh God, yes.
I played Bonfire in every single deck I could.
We killed our meta with Wolf Run and Worldfire and Bonfire of the Damned and all kinds of other stuff. We absolutely ate that meta up. It was so much fun. But Miracle in a vacuum, very unfair mechanic, little challenging to use and govern because you had to be very deliberate about how you drew those cards and looked at them. And even when I have Miracle cards in Commander, I forget that I need to be drawing differently. Like my Glarb deck has a Miracle card in it. And I need to remember the Metamorphosis Fanatic or whatever it is. It was from the Duskmorn Commander.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I need to be careful about that. Okay, vehicles. I don't like them.
I don't like them either.
I think crew is a horrible mechanic. It's not very balanced. It forces you to commit resources to something that may or may not pay off. And then when you look at vehicles, there are terrible vehicles that
and then there's overpowered
I'm just
ones.
never going to play. And then there's absolutely overpowered vehicles. And then nobody plays anything outside of these overpowered vehicles.
Nope.
Unless you're specifically...
by the way, they're commanders now.
Yeah. and unless you're specifically in a Grease Fang deck or something like that, that's going to cheat your vehicles, it's going to crew them for cheaper. You have to build your decks around that kind of thing, and it just feels clunky to me. And there aren't a ton of vehicles that have a huge upside. They're okay upsides, but there's nothing good. Like Asika's Chariot was really good in Standard.
I played the hell out of that one.
That was a fun vehicle. It was a smart ability bolted onto it. The crew cost was reasonable. It did something that helped it get crewed a little bit more. And now we're evolving into this station mechanic. And
so for station specifically, I've seen a bunch of people that have done pre-releases already, and they said the station's terrible.
It looked terrible on the Shuffle Up and Play that I watched with Voxy, Prof, Jimmy, and Aaron. They never stationed anything. It never came to fruition. It's such an investment. You have to station at sorcery speed, so it's worse than crew.
Yep.
So now you're taking creatures completely out of the picture, tapping them to station these things. Those lands, they're going to be dollar rares. The Gaia's Cradle land is going to be $1 rare.
I agree.
I could be wrong.
No, I will be.
But I don't think Station's very good.
Unless Gaia's Cradle is banned, then it won't be. But as long as Gaia's Cradle is legal.
Well, no. I'd rather run Growing Rites of Itmalok.
Yeah.
Over
that's
that
easier
land.
to destroy because that's an artifact at first, right?
No,
then
enchantment.
It comes back as a land. Oh, it's enchantment comes back as a land.
Yeah. But I'd rather run that over that Gaia's Cradle station land thing.
But I don't think it's even above $20 in pre-release.
So I have not paid enough attention to Edge of Eternities, so I can't.
It's like of course, comparing it to Final Fantasy isn't really fair.
No,
considering that was what $200 million in one day.
Yep.
But it's so much lower in value. It's not even funny.
Okay.
Like it's not even funny. Like I was wrong. So I was right. The station land that Gaia's Cradle is $18.97 pre-sale.
That's going to drop.
Right, but that's what it is now. You believe like the highest card outside of like showcase foils is, oh my god, are they really that low? Hold on, I have to go really far past these special ones here. It's Tezzeret, $33.
I was just going to say it's got to be Tezzeret. The Planeswalkers
$33.
and by the way, the Planeswalkers are marked up too. Look at Ugin tanked a little bit.
Yep.
Elspeth tanked a little bit.
One of my favorite ones, the Exalted Sunborn, is $25. Even the blue land there, the Titanic God Core is $21.
The Tolarian Academy one?
Yeah, that's $21.
They're going to go down.
They're just going to tank. They're all going to tank. The whole set is going to tank like really hard, I think.
People really love this set, and I'm excited for them. I think the mechanics are a miss.
I think the mechanics are a miss. I think making vehicles as your commander is a miss. I don't think that should have happened. But
we could do a different podcast on that one.
A whole other topic there.
All right, moving on. Totem Armor, Umbras, hate them. I didn't like them from day one. I thought they were very unfair cards. They force you to exile things. If anything says destroy, nah. I just remove the Umbra.
It's like shield.
Okay. Yeah, the shield mechanic kind of falls hand in hand with that. It was similar. But the Totem Armor, the Umbras, there's just too many ways to abuse them. Let's go back to Slippery Boggle and Hexproof and other stuff like that. Imagine putting Totem Armors on a friggin' Geist of St. Traft now.
Yep.
Now you really can swing.
How about
the
Totem Armors I put on my Wolverine?
I mean, it's just it's really busted. So if I'm not killing Wolverine because Jesse doesn't have the mana to regenerate him, well, the Totem Armor just falls off. Oh no, now he's a 16/16 doing double damage. It's like
instead of a 20/20.
Oh no! I never liked Totem Armors from the beginning. There are some really, really strong ones too, like Snake Umbras, Hyena
Bear
Umbra,
Umbra.
I think Bear Umbra. Oh my god. I run that in so many green decks because it untaps all your lands, by the way.
It does.
I mean, and it doesn't kill the creature. That it's just, and people are going to go, well, you guys aren't talking about edicts. Edicts can get rid of, if it's the only creature on the board.
Yeah, which unless you're playing my Voltron deck, it's not going to be.
It's very rare. People that built these Boggles decks, these Totem Armor decks, they're smart people. They thought of that. So that's another one of my least favorite mechanics. I never liked it. It felt very unfair. I didn't like the fact that I had to spend so much effort into removing a creature. And the other thing people are going to say is, well, just blow them out by killing it as they're casting the Umbra. Yeah, okay, cool. Because I'm keeping my mana open for that every single turn. It's, especially in a 4-player commander, that can get out of control.
So my 3, I have some. This first one is probably going to be a little bit spicy. I don't like Convoke.
Really?
I think Convoke is, like I said before, I feel like it's cheating. And it's more, I think, probably because I'm like traumatized from the standard with the white dude there. You can Convoke. God, I can't remember his name now. I see his art in my head, but I'm gonna look it up because I can't remember.
Got nothing. I'm blanking.
Well, you didn't play this type of deck, but what is it? What is it?
All right, you keep talking. I'll look.
Yeah, so it's just, it feels like cheating to me, because it's like in the right decks, it's just absolutely broken. And the card I'm thinking of is completely broken in that type of decks. It's like the Boros.
Oh, you're talking about Knight Captain of Eos or whatever?
Yes.
Or Knight Ranger of Eos
or whatever it is. Yeah, because it's like you spend so little mana to get little tiny creatures, and boom, this big guy's out turn 2 or turn 3, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that doesn't. Okay, I'm already lost. It's just like prowess. It's just cheating.
Convoke is cheating. Okay, so let me posit this. How do you feel about Affinity?
I don't like Affinity either.
Okay, we didn't mention Affinity in our notes.
Well, I don't see it as much as I see Convoke.
I think Wizards feels like Convoke is more fair than Affinity, so they're going to print more of it.
Yeah,
but
well, how fair did it feel if I Convoke my City on Fire in my Prosh deck?
Oh. Knight Errant of Eos, that's what it was. It's from March of the Machines.
Yeah, so it's still legal now. And when it enters, you refill your hand.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's more that, than the Convoke, maybe. But doing that, because you could literally do that turn 2 or 3.
Yeah, depending on the right deck. Yeah.
And it's like, there's no coming back from it. But again, if I Convoke a City on Fire in my Prosh deck, you sure as hell are not going to like that.
No, there's some very strong Convoke cards. Like, I love Hour of Reckoning. Destroy all non-token creatures. So I can keep my tokens and I can Convoke it using my tokens. It's a one.
Court of Calling.
Court of Calling's great. It's great, but holy crap. The amount of free stuff you can get by putting your own creatures into that mana cost, really strong.
It just really feels too strong. A second one, I think everybody's probably going to agree with this, is Annihilator. Because it's just like, I think the fact you can't really interact with it, because as long as it declares something as an attack, the Annihilator is going to go off.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you really have to pay attention. Because if someone says, I'm going to go to combat, and then I swing, you get into the right, or I don't say the right pod, but the certain situations, people are like, I already swung, you can't interact with it.
Yeah.
Like,
well, wait a minute. You didn't even give me a chance to. You didn't say you're going to combat.
I already swung. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It feels bad. It feels like there's nothing you can do about it. It takes away interactivity, which goes right into my third one, which is Split Second.
Oh, doesn't that take away interactivity too?
Yep. I think Split Second is one of the worst mechanics ever printed. Because it completely takes away all your ability to interact with anything.
It takes
stops
away
you from playing the game.
Yeah. Can you imagine playing against a Shadow the Hedgehog commander deck?
Yeah, I know. I think I'm actually going to build one.
How miserable has that got to be, though? Like, everything you cast has Split Second. Cool.
It completely takes away an entire part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It stops you. Like, you like, if you're a counterspell deck and you're playing a Shadow the Hedgehog deck, like, you're a control deck, what are you going to do?
You scoop and move. You go somewhere else. I mean, that might be a Rule 0 conversation where they just present their deck and you're like, I can't even interact with this the way my deck is designed. So I'm going to go find another table. Good luck finding people that want to play with that nonsense. And if they do, that's cool. I hope you guys have a good game.
Yeah, I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
Yeah. So for the third part of our mechanics we love and love to hate, I asked 100 people. No, this is not Family Feud. I asked Blue Sky and also the Wooburg Sky Discord server what some of their love and love to hate mechanics are. And the results shouldn't be too surprising. We did get a lot of love for some absolute classics, and some of them have been around for a long time, obviously. Just basic mechanics, and people reminded us of why people love these mechanics. So we heard things from lifelink to flying as things that people love. And flying, let's face it, flying can just flat out win games.
Oh yeah, limited flying is amazing.
If you don't have flying in limited, you better have a good ground game, man, because flying just ends games. Even in Commander.
No, I think lifelink, well, even flying too, I think they're tacking it onto things that shouldn't have it. And like certain things should have reach that don't, and certain things have reach that do or shouldn't. Like flavor wise, I think like some of the Spider-Man stuff that has lifelink, it's a complete miss.
Yeah, some of that didn't make any sense to me either.
So it just feels like they're tacking it on, when they shouldn't be.
And I'm assuming those are the Spider-Man starter decks, right? Those are for new players, so maybe that's part of their logic is just let's work in some of the basic mechanics.
Those aren't going to be standard legal, by the way. The starter decks are not standard legal.
Good. Okay. And then we heard stuff like, I love prowess.
I hate prowess.
So one of the users in Wooburg, Sky Cassandra, loves enjoying the temporary buffs that prowess provides. It adds versatility to decks and everything. So this person feels that prowess is kind of defensive in a sense.
It is.
I think that's a fair assessment, and that's a good reason to love a mechanic. For Jesse and I, that's the reason we hate that mechanic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just tells you it takes different kinds of people. The same person mentioned Wither. So I'm with friends finally. So they considered it as basically an alternative to Death Touch, whereas it's kind of a slower, grindier impact of killing your opponent's creatures if they want to eat a blocker, which adds to a layer of strategy and everything. And again,
really, Wither is kind of a poison mechanic.
Yes.
But a more fair poison.
Well, and it doesn't hit opponents.
Right.
That's the thing that blows my mind here is reading that article that said R&D doesn't like Wither because it grinds games down and can slow things down and change the board states, blah, 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 blah. And yet Infect is okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know. I want Wither back, Watsy. I'd better see it in Lorwyn, and I better see it in more than one card.
It's not going to happen because the way it's going, people's attention spans are so low nowadays. It's the quick games,
no grindy games. Okay. User Poff mentioned the meld mechanic, which was really fun. We saw that in the Return to Innistrad with like the Brisella, the Eldrazi Angel there, and some other cards with meld. We saw it just recently in the Final Fantasy.
And the Urza, the Rakdos Urza one.
Right. In the That was
I can't remember.
That was the Mishra.
Yeah, Mishra. Yeah, I see the art in my head.
Yeah, those are fun. Meld cards are really fun, and the user Poff mentions that it would be fun to see you combine 4 or more cards for one massive creature. That would be so cool. But it would also, but it would also be so incredibly hard to assemble. So the payoff would have to be insanely good. Like I think Exodia just wins you the game in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Or something like that.
I think so. Where's Joe? He would tell us.
Yeah, right? But like levels of that. Like if I can combine 5 cards together, I'd better win the game. Like look at Mecha Titan Core. And you need like 5 artifacts or 4 artifacts and that to assemble literal Voltron.
We're talking about this, and we might be like foretelling what's going to happen with these Marvel sets. You get all the Infinity Stones.
Oh, God. I better win the game if I have Infinity Stones, man.
And on that topic, there better be 1-of-1 copies of the Infinity Stones that are just like the One Ring. There better be.
or Marvel's just not ever going to go there, and they're just going to stick with Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and they're going to go X-Men, and we're not going to get like full universe stuff.
But I mean, that'd be perfect for the meld thing. You have the 5 Infinity Stones. You get the Infinity Gauntlet. It says you meld these 5, you win the game.
You win the game. You should.
Yeah.
And then you win the next game too.
Yeah.
Partner is a really cool mechanic, and I think that really brought in deck building capabilities for Commander, where you'll have kind of 2 contrasting archetypes that really work well together, and you get to play different colors now. I get to play Jund out of cards that I wouldn't normally combine and make Jund. And some users like to rule 0 partners, like we see for Pride Month. Right, you can partner any commanders together and build your deck around that. And Rule 0, by the way, we're huge advocates for that in our channel. So, if you guys want to partner cards together and the table goes, that's cool. Do it. It's a lot of fun. You can make some really creative decks.
Pendragon so much because you're basically kind of like partner in a way.
Kind of is, yeah.
And you're combining two things to make colors, you know?
Yep, that's very fun. Ward came up, Jesse. As a mechanic, we like over Hexproof and Shroud.
I do like it over Hexproof and Shroud.
Because it's interactable. However,
yes,
some people in chat said it's overused.
It is overused.
Even today, Ward is overused.
Yep. 100%.
I agree.
And so is Hexproof.
I agree. Other people's least favorite mechanics? Guess what hit the list? Landfall.
Everything we said.
Everything we talked about.
Except for one.
Vehicles was my own. And the last one on the list is a really fair one to call out as a least favorite mechanic. In fact, there are several people on Shuffle Up and Play that talk about it. I think Prof hates that one. But Landfall. People hate Landfall because it's so easy to abuse. I think we beat that to death. I think we covered it. It's good to see that we're not alone there and that you're just rewarded for playing the game. Additionally, another one. Poison, Infect, Toxic. People hate them. And again, Proliferate can turn it into an unavoidable loss. Just like we said. Oh, look, another one, Jesse. You want to talk about this one?
Split Second. That sounds familiar. Kanju and Bob, they said it's Bob, agree that Split Second can make the game feel less interactive, which we both find frustrating, and me as well.
So here's where I'm going to touch on Split Second a little bit deeper here. It takes away one of the most interesting parts of the game, and that is manipulation of the stack. How fun is it to have a stack war of counterspell, punch, counterpunch, this on the stack, that on the stack. You got your first in, first out, or first in, last out, last in, first out. There we go. I'm not a judge. I don't have this stuff memorized, and it's also getting late. But it takes away the fun of the stack.
It does.
And one of my favorite alternate Magic the Gathering formats is Forgetful Fish, Dan, which is all about the stack. Now, if we threw Split Second cards into a Dan deck, it completely defeats the purpose and it takes away the fun. Manipulation of the stack and playing cards in response, point, counterpoint is what the game is about. Split Second takes that away. I hate it. Vehicles, I was the only one that called out vehicles, but they just leave decks without the tools to deal with them efficiently too. As we've talked about, if a vehicle is in the command zone, now I have to change how I'm building my decks because I need more artifact interaction because vehicles turn off from being creatures after they're done.
Yep.
And I can only interact with it as an artifact. And finally, taking the initiative. That was probably a mistake from the Baldur's Gate set. I
think so.
It wasn't very well thought out, and like Night and Day,
delving into a dungeon, I think was a mistake.
Yeah, like Night and Day, initiative doesn't go away, and it starts over when someone hits you, and you do it again, and then everybody's in a dungeon, and it just didn't feel good. It makes the game a little overwhelming. I know the Prof hates taking the initiative. He talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
And here's some bonus stuff that we heard from Wooburg Sky. How about a potential for a ward assist mechanic in multiplayer formats? So I'm up against a ward 4. Why can't my opponents help pay the ward cost? How cool would that be? All right, I really need to take this threat off the table, but it's a ward 4. I can only afford to pay 2 into the ward. Let's make a deal.
Yeah, help me with this.
Can you put 2 mana into this so I can target this ward creature? Yeah, sure. You can attack me next turn? No. Great. Ward assist would be pretty fun, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see something like that. Gavin's teasing Battle Bond 2 a lot.
Oh, is he?
I don't think he's working on anything in particular, but he feels very strongly about making a Battle Bond 2. It would not surprise me if we see something like that, or we see something like, what was was it the Surge mechanic or something from the Zendikar block that was like you can pay extra from someone else? It was like a 2-headed giant mechanic.
Oh God,
I can't remember what it was because I stopped playing at the time, but that was another one that could potentially work into like that ward assist. So that was a really interesting piece of feedback pointed out by Story from the Wooburg Sky chat. All right, that's all I got for you.
Now, you already know, you've already indicated that you know my Song Lurker flavor text.
Yes, I'm blanking on the actual song, but it is by Ghost. I've listened to them nonstop.
By Ghost.
Okay, I have listened to them nonstop.
You're welcome.
They're fantastic. They're tickling my like 80s power ballad nostalgia with like a modern spin to it. So it's been really nice.
Yeah, they're like the 70s metal They've it's kind of like started out with that, and they're kind of more getting poppy as their albums go on and as their singer evolves into different forms.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I like them a lot. So I'm going to reread mine because you're going to want me to reread it.
Yes, I was just going to say I can reread it.
The star that burns twice as bright burns half as long.
So it is a red card.
It is a red card.
I can't remember. I can't remember what it is, though. I know it's a red card. I can see the art in my head.
That's pretty good, Jesse. Narrowing it down. I was going to say, do you want a hint? And you
I know for a fact it's a red card.
You stole the hint. That's really good.
Red card.
It's aggression.
There you go. Yep, I have the art in my head because I think that was one of the ones I was going to use.
Oh, that's so. We got to stop doing that. Obviously, you know what, chat? We're going to move back to guess the card because Jesse and I aren't picking the same things. Then, that is an absolute trip. I hope you guys enjoyed that this month's flavor text or song lyric. So, did we miss any of your favorites? Any of your most hated mechanics? Let us know in the comments. And remember, pop over to that Patreon, give us a follow. At the very least, you'll be notified when there's new content out there. And as always, Jesse, any final words of wisdom this week?
Go listen to some Ozzy, man.
Go listen to some Ozzy. I agree. I agree entirely. Be awesome out there, and we'll see you next time.